In this video, I'm going to talk about compassion and the need for self-compassion as our awareness of the pain in the world grows, so we can develop a reasonable response to the compassionate feelings that we feel towards others. Compassion, I feel, is a very misunderstood concept. It's easy to think, or I should say a common misconception about compassion is that it's almost like feeling sorry for other people. You have compassion for those that have less in life, or you have compassion for people that are in pain, or compassion for people that seem to be a step below you. I feel like compassion is a necessary component to awareness. It's important to develop compassion when you start to have more awareness. When your awareness gets beyond just your selfish needs, and you start to become aware of the people in your life and your surroundings and people you may know nothing about. And as your awareness starts to grow, you'll notice this, they call it psychic awareness, but I don't believe that there's really psychic awareness. There's just awareness. And as you become more aware and more wise to who you are, then you'll start to become more wise to how other people are. And psychic awareness, or the awareness of other people's pain, or the awareness of other people's thoughts, is nothing more than wisdom. You start to see more and more of it. You start to see, as you get older, you start to pick up on things. Because there's a saying that says, to know all people is to know one person. To know one person is to know yourself. So the more you become self-aware, that awareness will spread and you'll start to pick up on other people's energy. Now, energy is everything. Everything is made out of energy. And so this is why I say there's not really psychic awareness. It's not like it's just a few people have it. We all have it. And as you become more aware, energetically aware of your surroundings and the vibrations of different kinds of energy around you, you become aware of other people's presence and where they're coming from. We all understand when somebody's coming in your direction that is malevolent, or they're angry. You can pick up on that. And that's obvious because they're projecting that violent energy that we all, in our DNA, the hair stands up on ends, and you become aware of, here comes a dangerous individual, or this seems like a dangerous or a creepy situation. Somebody, they just don't seem right. They seem kind of creepy. We can all pick up on that. But awareness of energy, and as your awareness of energy grows, you can pick up on more and more subtle aspects of the people around you. It's not hard to pick up on people's thoughts. You can see their face. If you look closely at somebody's face and the way they're holding their body and allow yourself to pick up on it, you'll suddenly be aware of their entire life, or at least an essence of where they're coming from. And that is what compassion is used for. Being aware of other people's pain, or being aware of other people's joy, or being aware of where they're coming from. It's important to develop compassion then. When you start to have more awareness and you're able to pick up on all your surrounding energies, that is the time to start to develop compassion. And this compassion is for yourself. It's not really for the people around you at all. Compassion for yourself, that you can pick up on that energy. Because if you don't, then you will start to feel sorry for everybody. You will start to feel the pain in other people, because there's a lot of pain in this world. And as your awareness grows, it's really easy to start to pick up on everybody's pain. And then a couple of things will start to happen. You will either initially you'll probably become more of a bleeding heart. Now, that's not a bad thing, but it can be a bad thing for you, in that you will become more interested in helping others than helping yourself. And it's kind of difficult to find the balance there. Now, some people will say, well, yeah, that's the essence of life, is to help each other and serve each other. I don't disagree with that. However, I feel there's a higher reason, a reasonableness around that. And as you have compassion for yourself and your ability to be aware, then you start to be a little more selective about what you allow in. I mean, it's difficult not to allow it all in, but you can decompartmentalize it as you start to get wiser to what you're actually feeling. Some people, even though they're pitiful, may not deserve your pity, because you cannot pity everyone. And the ability to be discerning with your awareness, yet be aware, is what wisdom is. We don't want to dull our awareness. We don't want to stick our head in the sand. And yet we don't want to be so full of other people's energy that we become overwhelmed in life and forget about ourselves. Because the thing that is benevolent, compassion in action is benevolence. And benevolent action comes from a place of strength. You cannot be benevolent for other people and help them if you're looking down at them. And this beginning form of compassion, where you see other people as pitiful and that they need your help, is not exactly truthful. You are probably not any better than anybody else, and they probably are very capable of taking care of themselves. Now, this doesn't mean you don't help other people, because being helpful is obviously good. But benevolence is something different. Benevolence is when you have something to offer to somebody, more than just, oh, I'm so sorry for you. I feel compassion for you. What does that do for them? Better to develop something in yourself, some wherewithal that you can offer people something, that you can actually have the energy to really help, if that's what you so desire to do. But the compassion for yourself, the developing compassion for yourself, so that when you run into these things, and you will unless you're living in the woods all by yourself, the pain of the world, to develop a certain amount of reasonableness in your movement towards other people when you're feeling their pain, is super essential in this life. Developing this kind of compassion, this dispassionate compassion, let's say, because if you're going to let wring your heart every time you see something sad in this world, you're going to be depressed. And a lot of depressed people, I feel a lot of depression that's going on, is because people see the pain in the world, then they start to bring it in, and they think that they're feeling that pain as well. It's not a good idea to feel all the pain in the world and start to internalize it. Then there'll be no joy in your life. And what the world needs more than anything is joyful people that have a positive outlook on life. And from that elevated feeling of inspiration and joyfulness, they can be benevolent and have something to actually offer other people in the form of strength, rather than this feeling like, oh my goodness, I need loving kindness towards all beings. That sounds really good, but what does it mean? You have to have that loving kindness towards yourself first. Develop a certain amount of compassion for yourself, and sharpen and hone your awareness with reasonableness. You have no choice, because we are all becoming more aware, and we should allow yourself to develop a certain amount of reasonableness with your awareness, and use that awareness in a benevolent way, and reach out to each other in a good way.